Good evening, everyone. My name is Dee, and today's show is gonna be about parenting skills. First, I want to thank everyone for tuning into this show. It's gonna become a little heated debate. I understand that because some of the things I might have to say, some of you guys might not agree with, and I completely understand that. But I'm gonna say them because they need to be said. I'm not gonna say that there's a correct way or an incorrect way of raising your child. But there are some clear signs that if you're going down this path, you're doing it the wrong way. Okay? The first thing I want to talk about is, let me start here. I'm not saying my parents did everything correct. I'm not saying that they're the greatest parents in the world. But I'm not dead. I have 2 college degrees. And I've never did a second of prison time or jail time in that matter. What I'm saying is, some of these parents have gone astray. I don't know what's going on. Each household is different. We understand that. But some of these children these days are completely out of pocket. And what I mean by out of pocket is, I don't understand how some parents might feel that it's okay for their child to just answer with an okay. I was brought up, it was a yes ma'am, no ma'am. No matter what your behavior was, you at least respected the adult to that extent to say yes ma'am, no ma'am, okay, yes ma'am, I understand. Some of these kids, it's a straight yes, no, and they leave it like that. Like, I was a substitute teacher, and my first week or so being a sub, I would wait for the child to finish the statement. They would be like, yeah. Okay, yeah, what? Like, you better finish that. What I really have an issue with is parents teaching their children, well, you have to earn respect to get respect. The adult has to earn your respect. Like, I don't agree with that. At any point in time, if your child is 10 and I'm 25, I automatically have that respect. Your child will respect me. And what I mean by that, the earn respect to get respect thing, that works when there's someone of your peer. When they're 20, you're 25, when you're closer in age. And that's when the earn respect to get respect thing kind of comes into play. Not when you're 10 and I'm 25. That doesn't work. I don't agree with that. And that's because if you're 10 and I'm 25, I've lived your life plus 5 years of my own. There is nothing on this side of the moon that you can't tell me, show me, or teach me. And that's where I disagree with that statement a lot. And I've seen a lot of young parents tell their kids, no, you have to earn respect to get respect. I've talked to a lot of parents who've told me that. And I've kind of looked at them like, you're out your rabbit ass mind, for lack of a better words, if you're teaching your child that. That's for someone closer to your age. 20 versus to 25, 20, 21, something like that. Not from a 10-year-old telling your 10-year-old that me being 25, I have to earn your respect. No, negative. You need to unenroll your child from my class because I'm going to tell you right now, we're not going to get along. 9 times out of 10, I'll probably punch him in his face. So, yeah, unenroll him. Matter of fact, I quit. Somebody, you can have this little job because it's not worth it. The other thing I'm going to touch topics on is, and it's really bad, this grinds my gears, is the badass dumbass. And we all know that kid, they can rap the entire new Lil Wayne CD, but they can't tie their own shoe, count to 10, or identify their ABCs. That's not okay. Like, you're still dependent on someone raising you. So, I don't want to hear a Lil Wayne verse if you can't tell me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When you're still thinking 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 7, 9, 10, we have an issue. And I really think that some parents have really went wrong with raising their kids. Let's see. Where do I want to go next? My favorite kid. I love a bad kid. Me personally, I love a bad kid. Don't get me wrong. But the misbehaved children, the little terrors, the ones that are climbing on things, can't identify their ABCs, but can spit the whole Lil Wayne verse. They know all the words to Truffle Butter, but you can't tell me what comes after X is YZ for those who are listening, and that's what I really have an issue with. Like, I was in the nail shop a couple of days ago. Well, yeah, a couple of days ago, and this lady had this little boy, and he was a really bad, rambunctious little boy. And little boys are already rough, but this little boy was like extra bad. And you know, in the nail shop, they have those little signs that tell you, you know, hey, we're not responsible for your child if they get hurt in this nail salon, because we really don't want them in here. But if they have to be here, we prefer they remain seated in the little waiting area provided on the other side of the display case. Now, if that was the case for this little boy, I wouldn't have anything to say. But this little boy was all over the place. I even think at one point in time, I looked up and his little badass was swinging from the ceiling fans. That's not even the bad part. The bad part is the owner finally had enough of the little boy to ask the mom, hey, can you get control over your child? Because if you can't, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. She had the nerve to get offended. Like, bitch, how dare you? Like, the nail salon is supposed to be a relaxing, calming place. People go there to get their feet done. They've even, like in modern times, they've even updated where they have the little spa tubs for your feet. You sit back, you can get like little weird shit done to you, like a milk and honey bath, or, you know, something of that nature. You know, milk and honey pedicure, not a bath, I'm sorry. But she had the nerve to get offended when he asked her to leave. I'm glad he asked you to leave. For that lady, if you're looking at this video, thank you for leaving. You did the entire nail shop a favor by taking your little badass child and leaving. Thank you so much. Like, how dare you get offended by them asking you to leave? Like, I don't understand you. What's your rationale of thinking? Please, if you have Instagram, if you're on Facebook, please find the Pantheon U page, Pantheon U, and let me know what you were thinking, that it was okay for your child to be running all over the nail salon, swinging from the fan, jumping from the fixtures. Please let me know what you were thinking. Another little topic that I'm not going to spend a lot of time on or whatever is really rearing your child in the manner of where you spank them. Now, I know this is going to be the touchy part. I told you guys this was going to be the touchy part of the video. I really believe in whooping your child, especially if you've given them that look. We all know that look, especially if you're a black female. You have that look, you develop it, you really come into, really come into your own stage of it around the age of 10, and you know you have that look down by that age because you mistakenly give your parents that look, and it's that look like, why are you fucking with me? Where you make eye contact with them and they know all hell is gonna break loose if you have to say something else to them after you've given them the stare. Their stare where you lock eyes with them and you follow them till they go sit the hell down somewhere. And by the age of 10, you mistakenly give it to your parents and they knock the shit out of you. Yeah, I'm talking about that look. If you have siblings, you've definitely developed this look by the age of 10 because your siblings know what buttons to press for you to give them that look. Like, it's when they touching all over your stuff, or they move something, or they messing with you when you're really not trying to be messed with. That's that stare that I'm looking at. And when you get to the adult age to where you have kids, that becomes the I will beat your ass look. And I know we all have that look because I have it, my sisters have it, my mom has it, my grandmother had it, her mother had it. We all have that look. My aunties have it. And that look for a 4-year-old is supposed to be terrifying. That look, you're supposed to be able to lock eyes with that person and they see you're dead serious and you don't have to say anything. They stop dead in their tracks. They're looking you eye to eye, and they manage to find their way to a seat and they sit their ass down and they don't move. That's the look that I'm speaking of. This lady in the nail shop, she didn't use that look. Otherwise, the little badass boy would have sat down. She didn't, obviously she had missed it. Maybe she was the only child and hadn't developed it, but he was about 2 or 3. So between the ages of 1 and 2, she should have been developing it. At 2 and 3, he should have known that look. And that's the look that I want to speak of. That's the look you get, that you give right before they know all hell is about to break loose on them and you're going to beat the hell out of them. That's the look that I want to talk about today. If you're a real parent, you have that look. So if you don't have that look, I want you to develop that look. Because I know for a fact I have the look. I have a 6-year-old niece. No, I don't have any kids. I have a pit bull that's good enough for me. And she's about 5, and even she knows the look. Because I can lock eyes with her, and she will go find her way to her cage and sit the hell down. So we all have that look. But back to my 6-year-old niece. I have a 6-year-old niece. Love her to death. Love her to pieces. But one day we were out to eat or something. I forget what we were doing, but it was myself, both my sisters, which one is her mom, one is my younger sister, and my mom. And she was just being rambunctious that day. You know, we had all had little conversations with her. Okay, you know, we're finna go in here. You have to behave. There's a certain way that you behave in public. You know that way. We're finna go in here to eat. You will not be all over this establishment. You will not be climbing over these people's furniture. You will not knock over anything. You're gonna be a well-behaved little girl like we raised you to be. Just so happens, we were in there and she did something where she deserved a pop. And I popped her on her hand. No, we don't do that. So it was like this older lady. She was about 40, 45, maybe early 50s. She walked over to me. She looked me in my eyes. She said, "Don't you touch her like that." Who the fuck are you talking to? This is mine. This is out of my sister's loin. I'm allowed to do that. You know why I'm allowed to do that? I will correct her on spot on her for her behavior, because you know why? I would not allow the state of Texas or any other states in the United States to lock her up for her behavior and her to say that my family did not raise me to know that. You got me fucked up. But anyway, the lady, "Don't you touch her like that." I rudely corrected the lady because she was in my business. And when you get into my business, we have a personal issue. Okay, so I rudely corrected the lady or whatever. It was her fault. She overstepped her boundaries. I politely drew the line back in the sand and escorted her back to the other side. She needed to stay in her lane. But I wanted to talk about staying in your lane. And that's what a lot of people in America don't do. There would be no need for juvenile detention centers if a lot of people stayed in their lane. And granted, I don't support child abuse. I'm not talking about abusing your child. I'm talking about a little pop on the hand, a little spank on the butt, maybe a belt every now and then. I'm not talking about abusing the child. But timeout's not working for this generation. A stern talking to is not working for this generation. We need to pick up where the older generations left off to whooping your child. If you take your child out in public and they're jumping off furniture, they're cursing, they're screaming, yelling, it's time for you to break out that belt. I'm not telling you to hit your child in the face, punch him in the chest, kick him in the head. I'm not telling you to do any of that because I do not advocate child abuse. What I'm telling you to do, take off your belt and wear the bottoms out because they need it. Yeah, they need it. A little spanking to maintain control over your child is not going to hurt them. You're simply teaching them how to be a better adult. But like I said, guys, my name is Dee. Thank you for tuning in to Pantheon U. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please drop them in the comment bar below. I will do my best to respond to them and do a follow-up video to this, talking about all the questions, concerns, and comments. Love you guys much. Stay tuned.